Today's hot temps are perfect for breaking out the IR camera. What makes this a little different today is that there is absolutely no access to the attic areas in this house. So I'm going to use a thermal camera to determine if there's any insulation in the key spots. When it comes to taking readings in the warm months, I'm looking for areas that are bright yellow and orange. Everything in the camera frame sends off a temperature reading. Something that took me a little while to understand is that the results are relative, but when you're focused on a situation like this, a Cape Cod likely with a lack of insulation, it's a rather easy exercise to determine if the area has insulation or not. So look at this example from another Cape Cod. It's clear to see in the bay on the right that the insulation is missing or has fallen completely down. The next bay over seems like the insulation's slipping and not covering the entire area, and that final bay there on the left, it seems to be doing a little bit better. The house that I'm inspecting was built in the 50s, and it appears that the upper floor walls have pretty much been standing since then. One tip off for sure that insulation is lacking is that the homeowner states that it's really hot up there. And that's usually a really good indicator that insulation is not in place. So where am I going to check? Well, first, in a Cape Cod, there's a portion of the first floor that has attic space above and a portion that does not. As you can see from the diagram, the bonus room above isn't quite as wide as the total area below because it needs to accommodate the roof as it slopes down. Since I can't access the area in this house to see what's up, I can use the thermal camera from the first floor to help me determine if there's any insulation in the attic above these key living spaces. So far, the first look, it appears as though insulation is definitely missing in these critical areas. Next, I headed upstairs to check out the knee walls, slope ceilings, and the top flat for any more clues. And the knee walls were hot as blazes, indicating more signs that insulation was definitely lacking in this attic area. One common issue in older Cape Cods is that stale, humid summer air and cold winter air can get underneath of the floor through openings, and it's just because of the way the house was constructed. So I like to try to point my camera towards those areas to see if I can determine if that's happening, but today the results were inconclusive. There were obstructions and cold AC supply vents getting in the way. The top flat in a Cape Cod is almost always a given in terms of recommending air sealing and more insulation. The only real question is whether or not there's enough space for somebody to get up there and do the work that needs to be done. I have another video about Cape Cod-style houses with a tip on how to measure the area even if you don't have access. So check it out if you need that information. This was an easy one today based on the age of the home, the homeowner's lack of summer comfort, and the infrared readings. This house is a great candidate for an insulation retrofit. We may look at open cell spray foam for the roof deck or possibly an all-out conventional approach with traditional materials after air sealing, of course. Either way, there is only one place the efficiency and the comfort in this home can go, and that is up.